The Verdun altar by Nicholas of Verdun, who lived from an estimated 1130 to 1205 CE, is a fixture of the Klosterneuburg monastery in Austria. It makes use of gold and vitreous enameling. The enameling allows for a black color that contrasts the gold while still meeting its level of shine and not eroding over time, as it's meant to be a permanent fixture. In this segment, it depicts Queen Makeda, also known as the Queen of Sheba, presenting gifts to King Solomon of Israel. This story is most famously told in the Bible, where it is stated that in 1 Kings 10, in the New International Version, that never again were so many spices brought in as those the Queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. She also brought about 4 metric tons of gold and many precious stones. Queen Makeda is said to have traveled from Ethiopia to Israel after hearing of King Solomon's wisdom. This trip is also theorized by historians to have been a sort of trade mission, though some contest the existence of Queen Makeda in general. 6 months after their initial meeting, Queen Makeda returns to Ethiopia, having been converted to Judaism, and is now pregnant with King Solomon's child, who she later names Menelik. Now, since this entry is focused on an artistic depiction rather than an artistic practice, it would make little sense to consider how gold or enameling is used in contemporary art. But in context of the story's importance to the modern day, the Ethiopian rulers today still trace their lineage back to Emperor Menelik I. With its current head of the imperial family of Ethiopia, Crown Prince Zera Yaqub Amha Selassie, which I definitely pronounced wrong, signifying just how important this interaction between Queen Makeda and King Solomon was, and is, to the history of Ethiopia. Emperor Menelik I ushered in the Solomonic dynasty of Ethiopia, according to the Keber Nagast, or the Glory of Kings. Ethiopia saw great prosperity and success during much of the Solomonic dynasty, and by the 14th and 15th centuries, held substantial military power. They had a multi-ethnic, multi-linguistic, and multi-religious empire, which was out of the ordinary, considering that most of Africa was made up of Muslim sultanates at this time. While Ethiopia managed to hold authority over principalities of Christians, Muslims, and practitioners of traditional African religions. I'd like to draw specific attention to the fact that this piece is located not in Ethiopia, but in Austria, showcasing just how global this interaction was. Queen Makeda and King Solomon's meeting is an important event for the Christian, Jewish, and Muslim faiths. This particular depiction is intended for the main purposes of Catholicism, evidenced by the Latin text and its place in the Klosterneuburg monastery, but the story that it represents still applies to the other Abrahamic religions and the history of Ethiopia and Israel. Nicholas, the artist, is very likely to have made a stylistic choice in coloring Queen Makeda's skin black, which is obviously far more likely as she's understood to have been from Ethiopia, as most of the other art depicting her meeting from the time depicts her with far lighter skin. This choice would have been both a way to show his ability in enameling, as well as to challenge the typical depictions of Queen Makeda that would have been seen around France at the time, attempting to lend a certain countercultural flair and genuine accuracy to his work. As a result, this set of works are widely regarded as some of the most important works of the 12th century, paying proper note and respect to the emissaries of the Ethiopians, and depicting the importance of their relations. As a side note, Nicholas of Verdun is also believed to have started the tradition of artists signing their work.